Yeah, hi there. In this GCP lab, we are going to perform the following tasks. First, we'll be creating a VM. On that VM, we'll be passing a startup script that will be installing Apache 2 on it. Then we'll be creating a cloud storage bucket and placing an image in that bucket. Then we'll create a cloud instance, SQL instance, and we'll configure it. And then we'll connect that cloud SQL instance with a web server that we install in the step one, and then will be whatever the image that we had put in the bucket that we'll try to display it on the web page. So let's start with the lab. So we'll go ahead and first create a virtual machine with these instructions. Let's do it. So I'm in this Google Cloud Platform console. I'm going to click on this create button. So this should give me a page where I'll fill up the details to create the virtual machine. Basically, what we need to specify is the name of the virtual machine. Let's say my VM name is blog host. I'll copy it, and I want it in US Central 1A, and my machine, I'm selecting the type. I want a simple N1 type machine with the N1 standard 2, and then I will be choosing allow HTTP traffic, and since we have to specify the startup script also, which will be installing Apache 2 on it, so that we can give by clicking on this button, it will expand, and if you scroll down a bit, you will see a startup script section where you can give the startup script, and yeah, here it is. Just copy these things. I'll just quickly go through it. So the steps are apt get update, apt get install Apache 2, PHP dash MySQL with the flag -y, and then we are just restarting the service with Apache service Apache 2 restart. That's it what we are doing, and then we'll hit on this create button. This will going to create this VM machine. Okay, so the machine is created. If we want to, we can just click on this external IP link and let's see whether the Apache 2 that we specified in the startup script it worked or not. So let's see. We can see this page coming up properly. It means the installation worked fine in the startup script. Now, the next step, we are going to, for the future purpose, we just have to save this IP address, external IP address. We'll be using it a bit later. So let's put it here somewhere. Now we'll go to the Cloud Shell, and so let's launch the Cloud Shell. It will take a minute to come up. So let me quickly pause it. Okay, I've just opened the Cloud Shell and creating the variable location, exporting the value, exporting that variable, and setting it to the value US. Then we are going to create a bucket using the gsutil command. So it goes like that. Gsutil MB, which is to make bucket, -L is the location that we have specified here. And then we are going to give the name of the bucket that we want to create. Since the bucket name has to be unique, so we are trying to utilize this variable dev shell underscore project ID. This basically gives a project name, so we are going to use it because we know project ID is unique globally. And then we are going to append underscore bucket 01 just to resemble that it's actually a bucket. So it's going to create a bucket. Oh, looks like there is some issue with the command. Let me just quickly fix it up. Issue being earlier I said the variable local location in the lowercase, whereas in the command gsutil I was giving it in the uppercase. So let me set uppercase variable also, and let's try to create the bucket again with the same command. So the bucket got created, and then we have to upload a file. So first I'm uploading a file on this Cloud Shell. I have a file locally in my machine. So let me quickly upload a file. Let me just hit this upload button, and I'll pause for a second. Okay, I have uploaded a file, and let me just quickly show it. This is cloud.png file that you see here. Let me just make it lowercase. That will be easy. Okay, now we'll be copying this file cloud.png to bucket. Let's replace logo.png with cloud.png. Next, what we are going to do is we are going to change the permission of this file, which is copied into the bucket. So the command we are using is gsutil acl ch -u. So for all the users, we are giving it a read permission, and we just have to replace this thing with the actual file name, which is cloud.png. Let's do this and change the permission. So this is done. Now if we quickly go to navigation and go to the storage option, yeah, and we click on the browser, we should see that file with the public URL, basically, because we have given all the users the read permission, so it should have a public URL, that is, it is accessible publicly. So let's close this out and go into this bucket. This is the bucket that we had created, and within this we should see this file cloud.png, and it is having this public URL. Let's copy this URL and paste it. We'll be using it later on. In fact, I can paste it at the exact location where we will be using it. Now let's go ahead. So this step is done. What we have done in this step is we have created a bucket in which we uploaded a file, PNG file, and then we changed the permission of the file to publicly readable, and we save that link. Now next step is we are going to create a SQL instance. Let's say log-db. So for this we have to go to search product and resources, and just search for SQL and click on this. This will open this page where we can hit on this create instance button. It's going to create let's choose MySQL, and it will give up a form which we can fill. Instance ID, we are choosing it as log-db. Root password we can set as, and then region is US Central 1A, or let it be any, that is fine. Let's see where exactly what VM is, so we'll try to put it in the same location. So the command I'm going to use is gcloud compute instances list. This will list all the VMs which are there. So I can see this virtual machine is in US Central 1A. So let me just select US Central 1A also from here, and we will expand it. And what we see here is we'll go to connectivity. In this connectivity, under the public IP address, we are going to add, click on this add network. So this is web front end. So basically what we are trying to do is we are restricting the access to this database, so that access only from this particular virtual machine is allowed and not from anywhere else. So we'll specify this IP address, so that becomes as an authorized network from where it can access it. Yeah, let's click on the done, close it. Rest of the things I will not change, and I'll let it create the instance, MySQL instance. Okay, looks like there's already an instance with the same name, so let me quickly go and change the name, and we'll hit on this create. Okay, this is also already taken up. Let me tick 2. Maybe I've done it earlier, so that's why. Okay, the step is done, so I can see the instance is created. What we need to do next is create a user. Basically, we want to create a user other than the root, using which, if we want to, we can connect to that instance. So we hit on this add user button and we are going to create a user. Let's say the user, I'm choosing it as blockdb user, and let's copy it and we'll set the password. Allow it any host, yes, fine. Hit the add button, user is created. We can see username. Okay, now what we are going to do is we are going back to the VM machine. So one more thing we can do is we can just copy the public IP address of this instance. It will be used later. So let's copy this public IP and let's save it here for a time being. Now we'll connect to the virtual machine, the one that we created earlier. So let's quickly go to that compute engine VM instances, and we are going to SSH into that machine. Okay, we are connected now. Now let's follow a couple of commands. First is we go into this directory where www/html, and we will open this file index.php, and we'll copy a couple of lines as written here. So first is we're starting with the HTML code. It's an HTML head. We're setting up the title, heading, and then specifying the database server user password. So database server we can give as the IP address that we copied, the public IP address that we copied of SQL instance. So this is what we need to copy and replace it. User is the one, this is blockdb user is what we created, and we will change the password because my password was just a simple password. This is not the ideal way to do it in production, but since this is just a test environment, so we are doing it here. And I think what we can do more here is we can uh, add this line where which basically tells to select an image also, and we will be putting it just after this heading. So what it is doing, it is going to insert an image on the page, and that image will be coming up from the Google Cloud Storage. Okay, let us also put this database connection failed or succeeded. Yeah, that is already there. That is fine. Let's close it and let's restart this Apache 2 server. Restart is done, so we can take the external IP address of VM. I think we copied it somewhere. This is the external IP address of VM. We can take it and we will open the page index.php. You can see the heading is there, welcome to my cool blog, and this is the image that was there in the Google Cloud. And then we can see the database connection has succeeded. So from this web page, we are able to display an image which is there in the bucket, and we are also able to connect to SQL database which is already configured on the Google Cloud. So that's it for this lab. Thank you.